Good morning, everybody. Welcome to 22 Panels, where I have the whole heavy metal book club here, but it's not for the heavy metal book club. It's because Dillon Gilbertson, who kindly has joined our heavy metal book club, has another Kickstarter going. We talked to you about My Neighbor Necromancer issue one a while ago and discovered on air that I knew who you were. And this time I definitely know who you are, and we're going to talk about My Neighbor Necromancer issue two. So good morning, Dillon. Thanks for wading through technical difficulties.
Good morning. Yeah, no, we've all been there. We've all been
Mhm.
the victim of technical difficulties.
Actually, I meant to say this before we started recording, but I'm going to put it on the record anyway because you guys were talking tech difficulty stuff while I was trying to figure stuff out. My all-time favorite tech call that I was involved in. Somebody had bought a computer. They'd taken it home. They couldn't get it to start. We ran through everything. We ran through everything. Is this set up? Is that set up? Button down for this long. Try a different outlet. Finally, we hear the guy says, "Okay, hold on. I got to get a flashlight." It's like, what?
There's no
And I
power
just
in his
said something
house.
about like you have it, you know, already set up, and you might want to pull it. No, no, the power's out at my house.
Oh my God. Incredible.
Half
Absolutely.
an hour trying to get him set up with his computer. The power was out at his house.
Well, no, the power, like my light switches don't work. Like the outlets are clearly different.
Where they
Right,
should be anyway.
right.
That's hilarious. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
that's the type of thing where it's like,
And this also dates it because it was like long enough ago that phones worked. He was
Mm.
calling from a landline
Oh yeah.
because
Wow.
they weren't powered.
Yeah, yeah.
because we
That's
didn't
wild.
switch to the cell phone, everything needs to be
It
powered. Oh,
wasn't, there was no, I'm running out of battery on my cell phone and I won't be able to charge it because the power's out. You know,
yeah.
technology is scary. This is actually the story that I generally tell students to remind them that everybody like can think the wrong ways when they're expecting one thing and don't get it because there's so many moving parts. The more technological we get, the more moving parts there are. So you just
Yeah.
got to step back and do one thing at a time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think about stuff like that. So I don't remember how many years ago at this point, but I remember somebody explaining that it was math professors specifically in this context, is that like the higher you get, the more advanced degrees you get in mathematics, the more difficult it becomes to teach like the lower basic fundamentals of math. And I think it's
Often.
probably that way with technology as well, at least from like a layman, like customer perspective. Like the more advanced things get, the more easy it is to overlook and forget the most basic things that used to be, you know, really
Fundamental.
fun. Well, yeah, really, really at the front of your face. Like that was the first thing you would
Well, and
think.
it's funny that you bring this up with math because I mean I teach this lesson often when I'm talking math because what's the biggest thing that like students are, oh, why do I have to show my work? I got the answer. And it's like, no, no, no. The work
Yeah,
is the answer.
yeah,
I don't care if you got 2 plus x equals 4, x equals 3, if you show me how you got there.
right,
I'll say make certain you punch the right buttons into your calculator.
right, yeah, exactly.
um, if you can't show the work, I mean, that is the steps. That's the difference between um, can you fix it or are you lost?
Right.
Can you go back and go, oh, on this line up here, I added 2 plus 2 and I got 5, and everything after that is wrong because of that. But if I fix that and just recalculate,
Yeah. Wandering through the forest and stumbling upon the place you wanted to be does not make you a navigator.
right? Um, yeah,
Right.
and I mean, really, the more I teach it, particularly to special ed kids, the more I sit to myself and say, it's a long time before you get to truly hard math. What it is the math has more steps. It feels harder because it takes longer, but each step is actually a simple step. It's just the only hard part is knowing which step to do next.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's absolutely true that the trick becomes what order do I put these steps in instead of um once I do this step, what needs to be done, right?
Right.
Like the doing the step and adjusting that generally ends up being pretty simple. I mean, I think for some people, maybe division and multiplication are a little bit more tricky, but
Well, and that's one of the reasons I call math a language because I could say Dillon Necromancer Kickstarter my has neighbor
The wrong order of
up
operations.
today, and you would have no idea what I said, even though it's the same words as Dillon Gilbertson has a Kickstarter up today called My Neighbor Necromancer.
It's a great segue too. Perfect segue.
perfect.
So Dylan, let's talk my name. I mean, give us the pitch, and then everybody managed to read the first issue this morning. So we'll go from there. And for those who don't listen to the Heavy Metal Book Club, Peter and Matt are here with us as well.
Yeah, the big top-down view of the plot of My Neighbor Necromancer is a young girl stumbles into the wild world of necromancy and now has to learn to raise the dead to save the world. Um, in issue one, she her pet lizard Bibbits escapes from his cage and flies into the woods, and she chases after him, where she discovers a friendly necromancer who has been living hiding in the forest for over 100 years, and now her presence has tipped off the forces of evil to his location, and she sort of learns this ancient secret that she has to learn to protect now. Um, and yeah, that's sort of issue one. Issue two, she sort of starts to learn a bit more how necromancy works and the important tenets of necromancy, um, and really the importance of uh, of how you view the dead and how your relationship with the dead is more important than anything.
I just realized there's a spoiler on your cover of issue one.
Yeah, yeah. If you look hard, there we did that intentionally. We sort of tried to. I mean, and then you scroll down a little bit, and you can see that there's a reversed image down there. We
Mhm.
tried to do a nice little Easter egg in the cover of issue one, that people. I mean, if you looked really hard before you read it, maybe you could try to glean something from it. But then after you read it, if you went back and looked, maybe you can.
Oh, that's right, because
Yeah,
that's cool.
yeah. We had some
She's
fun.
looking at the skeleton with the skeleton on her, or she's real with a skeleton on her shoulder, looking at a skeleton with a real lizard on the shoulder. How
Yeah,
can you
I
get
think right now it's probably just safe to say this whole episode probably big spoilers for issue one. Um,
Yeah. Well,
if you
and
haven't,
I was actually going to, I mean, spoiler alert. If you really want to do necromancy or My Neighbor Necromancer with no spoilers, go back and listen to the first episode, kickstart them both, read them, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to assume that people have read issue one because they should have. It's not like we didn't pitch it before.
yeah,
The cliffhanger is the Bibbits has bitten it, and
he bid it.
she is told that she can have him back, but there will be a cost, and that's where you end. Um, which is a great cliffhanger because to have this grizzled old guy who just fought with skeleton evil people, telling this young impressionable girl devastated because her lizard just died. Well, you can have him back.
Yeah, I
Uh,
like to think that I mean, and then spoilers for issue two. I mean, necromancy is in the title. Like,
Right.
and so I remember telling somebody once that oh yeah, so when Bibbits comes back and they're like, "Wait, what?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's in the title. The whole book is about necromancy. You think we're gonna kill off this super lovable character
Well,
that
I mean,
like
you could
the
have made it a
entire
story, the whole story about whether or not she was willing to pay that cost.
Mhm.
And at the end, she decides that it's not worth it and buys a new lizard.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
Yeah,
buy
Could have
but
done that.
if you read the first episode and realize that they're fighting against this evil necromancer dude person, um, it kind of becomes less believable already in the first issue. It's like there's obviously some form of villain. I'm not saying that you couldn't just completely go astray from that, but
right.
we've already set up this villain who feels like it's going to be a recurring character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, like story wise, it would make a lot of sense now that this villain is still alive and ran away. Like if you killed off the villain in the first episode, then yeah, maybe that's probably where you go. But um, with that villain still alive, it's pretty clear that's gonna be a major part of the story, and that the whole concept of her
Yeah.
this
Cyrano is the good necromancer. His name is Cyrano that she meets in the woods. He's old. He's been doing this for a long time, and so he needs help. He needs a helper, and luckily one just happened to stumble into his house. Now
So
she's
now you're
captive.
gonna like get him on the hook for child endangerment, is what you're saying.
Yeah, hey, look, there's some pretty good panels right here.
I want to say, like, I really liked how,
Batman,
early
anybody?
Yeah.
early on we're looking at her house. I think we
Hmm.
get images of it. And then we go to see Cyrano's house, and there's like this very, I don't know, they feel very, very alike, but one is like your modern looking house with like,
Yeah.
and
So I
then
gotta tell you,
Cyrano's
her
house.
house feels very TARDIS-ish.
Her house is still like it's bigger on the inside. Well, she's in the basement at this point, right? You don't
I
see the
mean,
basement from the top.
I mean, wherever she's in the house, it feels like it wouldn't fit in the small little house you see.
That is kind of true. But I was
That's
just
just
saying,
comic
like,
book magic.
you have the
That's just
first,
how it
they
works.
both look like similar looking structures, but one of them is like this pristine modern thing, and then the other one of them is this sort of ancient.
Yeah, we purposely put some mirroring effects and some things she experiences in this, the quote unquote real world, or the normal world, and where she ends up. Um, just from like a storytelling perspective, it's always fun to show like the two sides of the same coin kind of a thing, and
Mhm.
how they're, even though these like in the hero's journey, right? Like you start in a familiar place, you go to an unfamiliar place, then you return home. Um, the familiar and the unfamiliar are so close to each other that I think it's important to just show visually the similarities between the two to sort of illustrate that they really aren't too so dissimilar. We're not so different, you and I,
So,
kind of a thing.
but yeah, you guys did a great job of making
Yeah,
that feel like, yeah, this is just a stone's throw away. It's
Yeah.
right.
older house, but I mean, a much, much older house, but it's doesn't feel out of place.
Yeah. Yeah, so here she's chased Bibbits away in the one of the first couple pages when she's playing with Bibbits. We see Aleth, who's the evil raven, that belongs to Rakkus, who's the evil necromancer, sort of antagonizing Bibbits, and then we see Bibbits flying away because Aleth has once again started chasing him, and then he gets chased all the way into the woods. She stumbles upon this cabin after she trips on some bones that have been sprinkled around the cabin for the purpose of a spell, which we kind of learn later on. And now she's kind of gone in here, and Cyrano's freaking out. Like, could you possibly find me? Like, my house is hidden. If you're here, that means it's no longer hidden, and so he's sort of freaking out. Sort of low level blaming her for revealing his house.
Yeah,
Just
at
sort
the
of
same
panic.
time, like when the Raketh, that's the evil one.
Yeah.
Raketh appears and calls out Cyrano. He says, stay here and don't leave the house. Like he still protects her even though
Well, I mean, there's one thing about being angry, and there's another thing about throwing a kid to the evil ones.
Yeah. He's more in a panic. He's not really angry with her. He's just,
He's
he
Batman
knows
child endangerment, not like the
not
what
Joker child endangerment.
the witch and Hansel and Gretel child endangerment.
Right. Yeah, he's not so much angry with her. He understands how dire the situation is. If she's in his house, that means things have hit the fan. And so he's more afraid, and decides that it's the first most important thing is that she's safe, before he goes out to confront this evil sorceress who he's been hiding from for over 100 years.
yeah. But it still tells a lot about the character that we're dealing with.
Yeah, and then he comes out and he's clearly got familiarity with her. It's clear that they've sort of known each other for a while. And she demands that he finally relinquishes the hand of death, which is, well, that he relinquishes the map
And
that
by
leads to the
her,
hand
in
of
this
death.
case, we're talking about Raketh, right?
Yes, yeah, sorry. Yeah, Rackus has been looking for the map of Mori, which leads to the right hand, the physical right hand of death, which is this item of ultimate power. And Cyrano kind of plays coy with her. He's like, I don't know, I've heard of that map, but I don't know where it's at, and you can come in and take a look if you want. And then yeah, and then Rackus summons this big army of the undead, and this huge battle begins, which
I like the
was
one with the hammer.
yeah, the dude with the hammer was a sweet touch. There's a stance if you go back, like when we first see all them, uh the dude with the skeleton soldier with this giant war hammer he's standing with like this super cool, I don't know, this super casual but also intimidating stance with his hammer, and I've I don't know, I've always loved just that particular image of him.
That one?
Um Yeah, that one right there. It's just like, I don't know, just the way he casually slings it over his shoulder. I don't know, his posturing there I think is wonderful.
It's very Paul Bunyan.
Yeah, he's kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
You do the writing, and this has some really fantastic visual storytelling in terms of panel placement, in terms of flow, whatnot. How much direction do you give, and how much does your artist just fly?
It's kind of 50-50. So Jason, the artist, he has he's not shy about letting me know when an arrangement doesn't work, or when there's not enough panels. I always err on the side of the fewer panels the better. And
Right,
Jason is notorious for adding so many more panels, and like, which is weird because every artist I think that I've ever worked with and most that I've talked to are like, the more panels, the more work. And so they're always usually thankful for like a 3 or 4 panel page.
right.
But he's like, oh, this was a 4 panel page, but now it's 9 panels. And I was like, oh, okay. And it always works out for the best. It always works really well. And so in a page, Jason likes direction. He likes it when I say exactly where things should go and what should happen. And for the most part, he'll agree, like it'll all work out. But in the cases that it doesn't, he makes suggestions for
Okay.
where things should be or where the camera should be, in order for it to flow
Yeah.
effortlessly into the next panel.
Cool, cool.
Yeah, Jason started. I approached Jason for this project, and he was super into it. And it started as a creator, commissioning an artist relationship. And then it very quickly he became a co-creator on this book. And so he's rightfully now credited as co-creator, because a lot of the ideas and content of the book, I think, wouldn't be quite what they are without him. So yeah.
Fantastic.
Nice.
Any of the other gentlemen want to? You're making me do all the I brought you guys
Well,
here so I
I
can do
mean,
less work. Come on.
sure. Sorry. I did not mean to.
And then I forgot to give
I
you the
really
book
like
to
a lot
read
of this
a couple hours ago.
necromancy that you're throwing in here, like, as the avid role player. Like, especially when you get into the combat, it's kind of cool how, like, all of a sudden, like, you know, you have hands just popping up out of the ground, and like that's, I'm familiar with that, but the whole like, oh, I summon a bear, and I like how every time Corono summons something, he has this like little talk bubble of sort of what he's summoning, and like the first time you see sort of a bear claw, and then the next time you see this skull with sort of tree things going around it. I'm trying to find where that one is.
Yeah, the skull paw emblem. It's the same bear paw but with a skull in it, because yeah, that was I took that. I mean, I didn't take that emblem from anything. The all of the symbol designs for the speech balloons are Jason's design. But the idea for the spell I actually took from Diablo 2 video
That makes
game,
sense.
because there's a corpse explosion spell. And so I I thought it would be cool if when he summons a thing that he can violently dismiss it in this explosion, which is what the skull paw became for exploding the bear that he just summoned after
Oh yeah,
said
and
bear.
I will be perfectly honest. I missed the skull paw, but I caught the tree skull.
Oh
Which is
yeah, and then he summons that tree golem. Summons a tree golem from dead tree parts. And Jason and I worked to get the expression on that balloon's face just right. We went back and forth a lot. When he summons the tree golem, there's this sort of tree branchy, ghostly looking face. And it started like, oh, that looks too evil. And it's like, oh, now it looks too sad. And so we went back and forth a lot trying to get the eyes on it just right, until it sort of hit this nice middle ground that we thought worked perfectly.
nice. Yeah. And then like just the whole like I thought it was really clever how Rakis has these two bags with like body parts in them, and she just throws them out, and all of a sudden she out of the bag crawl the body parts, and they come together as a giant uh like uh trying to give a like ogre type
Ogreish, yeah.
Yeah,
zombie.
yeah, that's exactly what we called it in the script as well, as was an ogre. So I'm
Yeah.
glad that it reads well as an ogre.
Yeah. But like
Oh, this
the
is
fact that
phenomenal.
it was two bags worth of like body parts that like came around is um really creative idea, and I really liked how like that's like, oh, like yeah, if I was like a necromancer and like I was like trying to make sure I had like things on hand, that's probably something I would like do as an
Yeah,
example.
it's like an Ant-Man when he's got all the stuff shrunk down in his pockets and he can make them big when he needs them.
Yeah, yeah, no,
Love it.
that's exactly it. Thanks. I appreciate that you appreciated that. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah, we I thought about at one point, I think I thought about giving Rackus a bandolier that just like like in old Western ones, like someone's got a bandolier, it's got bullets all in the straps
Yeah,
and stuff.
bottles.
I thought about doing that, but with bones and body parts and stuff.
Yeah,
But yeah,
why not?
we put them into this sack so that she's just got like this supply bag of like basically a pocket tank that she can summon at any point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then Rackus saves the or not Rackus, Bibbits saves the day. So Rackus's whole deal is she's sort of summoning these monsters against their will. and you sort of get a feel for that when she summons the ogre, and it's the ogre has like this purplish flare in his eyes that sort of is the same color as Rakkus's speech balloons
Mhm.
in her magic. And so Bibis jumps on her face to sort of break her concentration on that spell, and then the purple coloring goes away from the ogre's eyes, and you can see the ogre turns on her, and then is angry that she basically enslaved him, and so is
Mhm.
now charging her. Rakkus gets angry and throws Bibbits to the ground, and then Alith, the raven, the evil raven Alith, kills him. Basically, just pecks him to death, and that's sort of where we end issue one. Is on this
And
cliff.
then she has to kill her own ogre.
Yep. Yeah. Rakkus has to dismiss her own creation,
Mhm.
with this sort of spirit, this spirit missile that she shoots at it, and just
Yeah, I
sort of
like the spirit missile, and then following that, I like the green head that what is it for Carino, right?
yeah, yeah, the Cyrano's green.
There we go. Sorry, Cyrano.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like how it's just like this. It somehow oddly reminds me of the mask. Like,
Yeah, I mean it's green. It's green and it's just the front part of a face, so I could see that.
yeah, and just like how the mouth is just like in a really awkward, not I shouldn't say awkward, but a really outlandish position.
Yeah. Yeah, so here's Jessie sort of holding Bibbit's body, and she's she's rightfully upset about what's happening. She's crying. But then Cyrano tells her that if you're willing, he can live again. You can have him back. And then we're gonna find out sort of what that means in issue two.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely. I mean, I only just got to read it this morning, and I'm absolutely on the edge of my seat throughout the whole comic. So it was a wonderful experience.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm going to be honest. I'm a cover guy. If I saw this in my LCS, I would pick it up and be thrilled.
Nice. Thanks,
Okay.
man.
Like this end to end, man. I am thoroughly impressed.
Thank you. That means a lot. Yeah, we put so much work. Jason, I think is, I don't know. I say all the time that the fact that Jason's not working on big two books or, you know, big popular properties or something, I think it's a shame. I think Jason deserves all the greatest things in comics. I think he's one of the most talented and skilled artists that I've ever
And you know what I really
encountered.
love? I love this the one frame where she's looking for Bibbits all over the house and it's the dotted line
Yeah,
going around. Like that's a throwback to stuff that would happen in like the 70s and 80s that they stopped doing in comics. That's what I love about comics. And you're like, we're
yeah.
bringing this awesome like Gen X feel back.
Yeah, we're always trying. I mean, there's a huge tool bag full of tips and tricks and stuff that
Mhm.
that 100 years of comic books has built, and I think a lot of those tips and tricks, people pass over them, and so we're always trying
It's
to find these cool ways that we can take advantage of the medium.
yeah. I
'Cause
mean, it's like
comics
thought
are
balloons. No one
yeah
uses thought balloons anymore. I hate
Yeah,
that. I love thought
I was about to
balloons.
say, bring
yeah.
back thought bubbles.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a funny thing. I don't remember if I read it in the back of American Vampire. I think if you guys have read that,
I have.
it's a Scott Snyder book. But he I think wrote it with Stephen King. If I'm pretty sure this is the property, at least it was. And I think there was a little tidbit in the back of one of the collected issues, and Stephen King was talking about working with Scott Snyder, and that Scott had to tell him that thought balloons were passe. Like people don't do that anymore. And it was just Stephen King saying that, talking about learning how to write a comic because he'd never done one before. And so yeah, the thought balloons, I always consider using thought balloons, and I always think about that little tidbit. It's like, why let's bring them back.
Yeah, I love thought
Captions are
balloons
great, but so are thought balloons.
because
yeah,
you could have someone saying something, thinking something in the background, and then being like, bam,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, and I mean, there are different ways to do them. They were
That's
definitely
true.
overused for a
Yeah.
while.
Wow.
Yeah.
When
I do
Spider-Man
like
was
the
being all
thought bubbles.
introspective and the whole page was him in Thought Balloon, yeah, that's a
Right.
little passe and overused.
Right. I think that a lot of people have cheated and created different text boxes where it's not a thought bubble, but it's like have the
Stylized.
symbol in the corner, or you have
Right.
different characters
Right.
depending on
No,
who's
I
narrating
definitely
thoughts.
feel like the thoughts are still being captured. They're just not being captured in this whole cloud bubble format. And
Right.
honestly,
Though
when
I want to say, I feel like Tom King did some thought bubbles in um Love Everlasting.
Mm.
sure, but like my short is I don't know that I agree with you all. Like I don't hate thought bubbles or anything, but I do think like, the way that some people have gotten clever about, turning this sort of weird bubbly thing like and I think it also depends on like where you're putting it, like what sort of comic you're doing and stuff like that. But like, turning it into a box where it's like, okay, like, I can kind of attach this box of, maybe it's colored specifically for a
Oh, I
person,
like
something
both.
like that. Right.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's just sort of, I think for any of it, it's choosing when to do it and where to do it and sort of like how does it
Right.
fit in
Well,
with the art style and how does it fit in with what's going on, right?
if we're gonna get like geeky nerdy without actually doing the research, my hunch is part of the reason thought bubbles became passe is it got to the point where there was so much thought bubbles along with speech going along that it started to become difficult to tell when they were talking and when they were thinking.
Yeah.
That also
So, I
Yeah.
mean,
I
I
think
always insist that storytelling is king.
yeah.
Yeah, if you misuse something, anything can become
Right.
passe.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, it's like I think I think Tad's probably right that that eventually when thought bubbles were in style or thought balloons were in style, um that people just started overusing them, and,
Hmm.
and then it got
Well,
kind of got
and
out of
just
hand,
not
and
using
then
them well.
yeah, and then
It's
it
hard
sort
to
of
do a thought bubble and conversation in the same panel. It's not impossible,
right.
but you got to be really careful about it.
Right. And so that's
Um,
and then they started introducing like they started doing captions more.
right.
Because and then that was new and it was cool and different.
Hmm.
And then yeah, then thought
Wow.
balloons like anything else are
Right.
they're
If
just
you're
they're a
doing thought
tool.
balloons, it starts to limit the way you can shape your um actual dialogue balloons because you
Hmm.
don't want, I mean, shaping dialogue balloons can be great for adding emphasis and whatever, but if you've already got a different shape, that means you're thinking, not talking. You got to be really careful about what you do because you don't, yeah.
Yeah.
I,
Thought
I can
balloons.
see I can see how it would be really I could get to a point where it was much easier for the editorial department of a big company to just say no more thought bubbles
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I
than
think
to
Yeah.
you
thought
gotta
balloons
know how
too.
to use
Thought
them.
balloons
I was
are sort
gonna
of a slippery slope
Right.
into saying and not telling, or telling and
Hmm.
not
That too.
showing, which is like like one of the big rules
No, no,
yeah,
yeah.
in
I was gonna
storytelling is
say
to
like
show not tell. But yeah, but Matt's right. Like it's a tool. It's a
Yeah.
tool, and you can misuse any tool, just like you can misuse
for sure.
Yeah, like
thought balloons, miss or
if he
overuse.
did, if he even did this dotted line thing a second time, it would have like ruined it. But just doing it just that once,
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, I think what I was gonna say is it's one of those things that when we're in the heavy metal podcast, we see a lot of is people sort of using something and then like overusing it. Like,
Hmm.
especially with like recently we've been like, oh, this is a super wordy comic and it probably doesn't need as many words as it
Right.
has.
Yep.
Right.
Well, and that's I think one of the things that establishes heavy metal is experimental.
Right.
Hmm.
Is that like you can tell that they're trying to figure out if it works.
Well,
Yeah.
there's also the concept of if you write something but you don't know who's going to draw it,
That's sometimes the case too.
You gotta, you want to put all the words in. The person who's
Right.
drawing it doesn't realize they could probably take some words out. So,
Yeah.
this book is a perfect example of
This
that
is why
harmony between
whenever you can
writing and
afford
art.
it, you should hire an editor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which we did this time around.
Okay. Who edited?
Nice.
Well, so nobody edited this one.
Okay.
Issue
first
one,
Well,
one.
nobody
nobody did a
edited.
really good job.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Where's
this
nobody? I wanna talk
Yeah.
to them.
yes. Well, so we didn't have a person specifically assigned as editor for this comic.
For issue one.
I think the quality of the book is the result of the book being made, and then us constantly finding things that needed to be tweaked, and then just us constantly tweaking it until we finally released it.
That
Uh,
Which means that
it's
either
obvious
one of
this
you,
was a labor of love.
if you so desired, may have a career in editing available to you.
Appreciate, thank you.
This
But
is
yeah,
so
no,
good.
for issue two, we got Michelle Abounader, who,
Oh, I love Michelle.
yeah, Michelle is now our editor for issue two, and I
Oh,
could
that's
not be more
amazing.
thrilled
I
to have
just
her on
got
board.
her When We Were Young anthology
Yeah,
came
yep.
out mail the other day.
Yeah, she's terrific. I've had several conversations with her. We Zoom time and time just to talk about the book. And
That's yeah, no, I
it's
love
it's
Michelle.
it's always a huge relief when an editor reads a project and gets it, right? Like she already very quickly picked up on, like, these are the themes that I know that you're working with, and I know that this is the message you're trying to convey. Let's try and make that the best we possibly can, and let's really
Okay,
work
I'm
on
I'm just
translating
telling
it.
you right now, for issue 3, I want Jason and Michelle to join us.
Yeah, okay, done.
You don't get to hog the spotlight anymore.
Oh, man. Now I gotta try and hog the spotlight just on the heavy metal podcast.
Hey, speaking of heavy metal, if this was in heavy metal, this would be my new favorite ongoing. Okay.
Yeah. Favorite
Oh,
panel, favorite
100%.
ongoing.
Yep. Yeah. Seriously, this is
Favorite
good stuff.
story. It would just
Favorites.
like clear
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
I'm trying to think
Clean,
what
clean
era of
sweep.
heavy metal would have been able to get over the kid, the like YA borderline nature of it and be willing to print it though.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's on heavy metal, not on you.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no, for sure. Yeah, so so we shopped this around to editors for a bit, and the number one reason that I got for why it wasn't a fit for those particular publishers is because of that middle ground that it sits on between genres and between age groups, which, to our credit, is something we specifically aimed for. We
Right.
have daily conversations about how to make this less kid friendly, how to make it more kid friendly. Is this horrific enough? Is it too
Have
horrific?
you
And like,
No,
have you
you told
pitched
that
it
line
to
perfect.
Mad Cave?
yeah, no, yeah, Mad Cave. So yeah, Chaz Pagburn,
Right.
who's, yeah, the editor. This is an in-person conversation I had with him at San Diego Comic-Con last
Right.
year. He said those exact words. He was like, yeah, we just couldn't quite fit it. Like, and they have it's not Maverick, but they have a
Maverick.
line. Yeah, they
No,
have a
Maverick.
line
This
that's
feels
sort of
like it
meant.
would be a great Maverick book.
Yeah, but like, yeah, you have to talk it up with Chess, I think. But yeah, we wanted to hit that line. Because yeah, that was just the kind of book we wanted to make. But unfortunately and reasonably so, sometimes that's a difficult market to advertise to try and hook. Like, everybody loves Stranger Things because it's amazing, it's great, but as a product, that's difficult to fit somewhere and to find a good smooth marketing line for, unless it catches fire and everybody just loves it before it's even tried to be boxed into one of those
And
genres.
Netflix has the advantage because they can put out whatever they want,
Yeah,
and people are going to watch it because it's there and it's new. So
right,
it's not a
right.
fair
Yeah.
comparison. This is phenomenal stuff.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
I mean,
No,
what I
it's
was also
great.
gonna say, I mean, you're absolutely right, Matt, that Netflix has that advantage. But what I was also gonna say is, like, I don't know, it sometimes feels like in our modern era, things that get made are things that are a little overly safe. Like we get a lot of movies that are just like, we get tons of superhero movies at the moment. And like, I'm not saying that hasn't happened in different eras where it wasn't superhero movies, but some of that sort of movies or things like that. But it does feel like we don't get a lot of just sort of interesting stories that are just we we have a lot of great movies that aren't these movies that fit within the like era or whatever, and like it just didn't feel like um just doesn't feel like we get that a lot at the moment, right? Like it's like
Yeah.
if you're
I
gonna
just
see a movie,
I hate the breakdown of books for age groups. A book's a book. If it's a
Yeah,
good book, anyone can
yeah,
read it.
right?
yeah,
It's not
and
made for young adults. It's a book for anyone to read.
right, yeah. I'm usually never one to be the good old days about it. And but I think in the 80s and 90s particularly, people pushed the boundary a lot, especially with kids
Hmm.
movies
Yeah.
about how horrific and how scary and how adult they could be.
Hmm.
I was just talking I was talking with somebody about Return to Oz. I did a whole talk about Return to Oz and its sort of its influence on My Neighbor Necromancer. That was a Disney movie, and it's a canonical sequel to one of the most popular kids movies of all time, The Wizard of Oz. And it's not a musical. It's fairly not kid friendly, but it's very accurate to the books. Like the books themselves are horrific. In the
They're
first Wizard
not.
of Oz movie, I don't think you learn
Whoa,
that.
whoa, whoa. Hold on a second.
Yeah,
Hold on a second. I've read all of the books.
yeah,
My problem with Return to Oz is it doesn't go along with the books very well.
well, so let me take that back real quick. So it is a combination of I can't I'm trying to remember the names of it. There's so many names to those books. It's like Dorothy and Oz
So it's
and
got some Clockwork Man, it's got some Patchwork Girl,
yep.
but all of the Oz books are much sillier.
So they read much sillier, but conceptually they are very dark. The Tin Man is the Tin Man because his axe was enchanted, so it cut off all of his limbs until he was slowly replaced with metal parts. That's dark as hell. That's
Hmm.
super metal for a kid's book, and that's in Return to Oz. She
That's
talks
very
of
true.
yeah, and so they don't mention that in Wizard of Oz. They don't mention that at
Yep.
all. And but to your point, I will say, yeah, Return to Oz is not super accurate to any one particular book, but I think it's a masterclass in combining two of the books to make a coherent story. It successfully puts together two storylines and two separate casts of characters in a way that doesn't directly spit in the face of those books, but sort of makes its own story and just tell it does a great job with the toolbox it's been given. I think. And so like the
See,
Wheelers.
I actually I have a great appreciation for Return to Oz, but I think we're gonna have to either table it for another time when I've got time to go revisit some of my Oz books again and or revisit the movie.
Okay,
Um,
deal.
because my appreciation is completely separate from. I like that it took some of the characters, but I felt like it really only pulled in character elements and not as much story elements or
I can't speak to that, but going
world
back
elements.
to the concept that we were sort
Yeah.
of addressing, um, I think there's a couple things. One, we a lot of this content like specifically targets like it's like this is kid content, and it's like okay, well that's great or whatever, and like I'm not dissing on that, but like there's kid content out there. I mean, personally, going to even TV shows and like, I think Stranger Things is one of them, but also you could look at some of the cartoon stuff like Adventure Time or what was that one? There's a bunch of them recently where like the content feels very, very sort of kid oriented, but if you're actually like paying attention to it, there's this sort of like things that, even as you grow, you can grow on. And one of the things that one of my uncles will regularly say is like he buys books based on not necessarily what age the person is at, like especially when he's buying for like the younger people in our family, the children in our family. He doesn't buy necessarily for what age they're at, but for something that they can grow into.
Hmm.
And I
Yeah.
And
think
that's a
that
great approach.
Yes. Agreed.
I think that a lot of content that we do is sort of one and done content. It's like, okay, we're gonna build this really safe thing for um 10-year-olds as
Yeah.
an example. And like once they're not 10 anymore,
Who
they're
cares?
not
There's
really
more
You're gonna
10-year-olds
get
to
out of it.
replace them.
Yeah.
right. We're gonna go build something that's like for 12-year-olds, whatever,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I think it's
Um,
I think you're right. I think it's a very difficult and very special thing when a story in any medium makes something that ages with its audience without creating new iterations of it, right? That the same comic or the same series of a TV show, when you watch it when you're a kid, you can appreciate it. And then when you watch it when you're adult, you still appreciate it, but you find different things to appreciate about it.
Because you're looking at it through a different lens. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
which to jump off of that is something that we're trying to do with Necromancer. Like I had a um very difficult time. The book is sort of me working through my own anxieties about death and like, what does death mean? Is death good? Is death bad? I think death is a great motivator, and just like I think death is part of the reason we treat ourselves well, why we treat other people well sometimes. Like it's I think there are things that death makes possible in life or makes it make I don't want to say better, but like we don't want to glorify it. We don't want to encourage it. Death's job is to be hated. And like if you don't fear and want to avoid death, not for yourself, but for everybody else, then like death isn't doing its job and now something is wrong. But also to say that if death is gone, that life is better, like that's also not entirely true.
mhm.
So there's these really weighty things that like I'm trying to work out in the story, but like kids aren't gonna, that's not a kid thing. The kids aren't gonna be able to think into that, right?
Exactly.
That's
You
very
have a
difficult.
completely
I
different
mean, but
take on it.
and so we're also just trying to make a cool story about death wizards. Like just a cool fun story about this girl and her lizard having a good time, like running around in this magical land, having just just having an
And they
adventure
fall
with
into
it.
this awesome situation.
Yeah, super awesome situation.
Yeah. How
What
old
your
is
best?
Jesse, by the way?
What's that?
How old is Jesse in the comic?
Jesse's 10.
Okay, so just because the protagonist is 10 years old does not mean the story is for 10-year-olds.
Right, exactly, yeah. And so yeah, so to Peter's point, that's what we're trying to do with Necromancer is we're trying to make this story that kids can love and have fun with, but that adults when they read it, or those same kids when they read it however many years
Again,
later,
yeah.
find new things to appreciate about it. And that's I think that's part of our challenge that we're taking on with it.
definitely. Yeah.
Well, mission accomplished. Okay.
Thanks. I mean, first issue, strong start. Strong start with first issue.
Yep.
Very
Can't wait for
strong
the
start.
second one. Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are honestly so excited for the second issue. We've got a lot of cool stuff.
And I'm just gonna like lay it out there. I have already paid for my digital copy, but I think we should be cool enough to not have to wait for the Kickstarter to like fulfill to get our digital copies. When you have a PDF, I expect that.
Yeah. When issue 2 is done, I will send it to you. Right
Okay.
now we have only 6 pages drawn of it. It will take until March to get the rest of it drawn.
I'm
Uh,
sure.
Yeah, that's man, I wish that we had the time and the funding to just make the comic and then do a Kickstarter for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the Kickstarter right now is just to make the book. We didn't have the luxury of making it and then doing a Kickstarter. And part of that is because we're very have a very deep flag planted in the camp of artists, creators in general, but artists being paid their worth and being
Mhm.
paid on time. not working for free and not working for less than a living wage. And so we made a point to have the Kickstarter goal reflect that. You guys, you can all see that Jason's art. I mean, he should be being paid top dollar for anything he works on. And so yeah. Yeah, the point is, the moment it is done, I will send it to you.
Looking at this book, I don't feel like I could afford Jason to work on something.
Yeah.
Okay, so I get it. Believe me.
Right.
Yeah. No, I was trying to remember, trying to go find your Kickstarter page because anyhow, doesn't matter.
Yeah. The Kickstarter page is at necrocomic.com. That's necrocomic.com. Everybody go to necrocomic.com and support the Kickstarter. I want to take a minute to also shout out Luca. I feel like we've underspoken of Luca and how much of a color wizard he is. Every time Luca knows more about coloring and color theory than I know about literally anything in my entire life. And I think that reflects in the pages as well.
He's forgotten more about color theory than I know.
Yeah, exactly.
Clearly,
He's
like-
he's
Right.
he's the guy. It's funny because him and Jason colors his own comics as well. He has his own series called Star Set Delivery, and he colors and letters and draws the whole thing. But him and Luca and Jason will sometimes in our group chat just start talking about color stuff, and like I'll just be in the back like, yeah, totally, like having no
No, the
idea
Bloom
what it is they're
Extreme.
talking about. And I think Luca is the math professor, right? He's the math professor who's gotten so far in the world of color that it's now difficult to dumb it down and teach the fundamentals because he's so far beyond.
Oh, that makes sense. Because
Yeah.
you said that earlier, I was like,
And I can feel it.
you don't
There's a one
get,
picture
like,
of the
fundamental.
dude in his cloak, and it's just awesome.
Yeah.
From the
And
back.
you don't
Oh, yeah.
forget fundamentals of math, but it gets more difficult to explain the fundamentals, I think, to people.
Right,
when you're
because you're
doing
not
something
using
so
their
high level.
terminology
Yeah,
anymore.
absolutely.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you're speaking a whole other language.
Yeah.
Right. That makes sense. I remember recently I was talking to my young cousin who was, I think, 11 at the time, and she was asking me about some math homework, and I was trying to grasp where she was at just so I could
Yeah.
like actually, but that makes 100% sense now.
Yeah.
And I can see how that would be the same for color theory.
Yeah, for sure.
Can I just say I love the way your dialogue flows?
Thank you. That's I love that compliment. Thank you for that.
No. To what do I owe the pleasure? Your own inferior casting it would see. That's like roasted, burn. I love it.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun writing the rapport between him and Rackus. Because like I have a friend, shout out to my best friend who I've known since kindergarten. His
Wait
name
a
is-
minute. Peter's not your best friend?
No,
Yeah.
come on.
Well, my
Well-
best friend that I've known for as long as my
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Now we're
But like,
qualifying it.
but like him and I have sort of that antagonistic relationship. Like it's always been that way. And so I could draw heavily on that for Rackus and Cyrano, and just like they've known each other since they were kids,
Clearly.
but they just hate each other.
Yep.
And so yeah, I had a lot of fun writing the back and forth between those two.
Oh, this is good stuff. So, quick question: does Jason draw traditionally on paper, or is
No,
he strictly art? Oh,
He's a digital artist. Yep, he works
that's
all
unfortunate
digital.
because I want to buy a page.
I know. So him and I talk about that too. When we were putting together the rewards for issue 2 for the Kickstarter, we kept going back to, he's like, just wish we could offer original pages.
Yeah.
You know,
But,
that would be
I mean,
so
you could
cool.
do prints.
Yeah, so we talk about doing I don't know how to pronounce it, Gleesy prints.
You know,
Yeah, we talked
Glissy.
about doing that.
you,
I
you
can't
could
remember.
do prints. You could do like signed and numbered prints.
Yep, I can't remember why we didn't do that. There was a reason, and I can't remember what it was. We also talked about doing remarks.
Yeah, that was for that matter. That's the other. I mean, if you really wanted to make it unique, you could do like we will do you can buy. Actually, this is literally coming to me as I'm saying it. So, like, if it's a terrible idea, I apologize.
Sure.
A way that a digital artist could sell individual pages in a way is like if they sent out like they made one high quality print of each page, but then like signed and remarked it. So what you're really getting is the from the original files highest quality page, but also with a signature and
a remark that
and
makes
a
it unique.
remark, so that
Yeah.
there's something
Yeah.
original.
Yeah, I think in terms of rewards that were not original pages, because we couldn't do that. We could have conceivably done prints for, I guess, except for the reason that, again, I can't remember what it was, but for things that were additional time that Jason would have to put in for the rewards, we had to be very careful because
Oh yeah,
Clearly.
the schedule that he's working on currently to get issue 2 ready in time is already, we've given some wiggle room because we don't want to have a huge delay like we did last time. But he has limited time because he's working on other projects as well.
Right.
He does
Yeah,
he does
man's
like
gotta make a living.
yeah, he does like high end like commissions for the NFL. Like he did um like a Philadelphia Eagles poster for one of their games. So he's working on a lot of other things, his own book. And so I think we had to choose between either doing the remarks for him to like doodle on the existing pages,
right.
or doing the Necromancer familiar commissions. And so
Right.
we had to settle on one of those, and we settled on
That makes sense. Totally
Yeah.
makes
And
sense.
I'll be honest, I almost got the Necro Familiar commission.
Mhm.
What's it called? Level.
Yeah.
But it's still too soon. I lost my Basset Hound in February of
Oh,
2023.
I'm
And I was
so
like,
sorry.
I don't want to see her come back as a zombie. I can't
I'm
do
sorry.
that.
So I will say, I don't want to. I'm not going to try and push you into this. I know that losing a pet is a very difficult and personal thing. But I will say we also tried to advertise that we know that seeing your beloved pet, either living or dead, that it can be very off-putting to see them in a grotesque state. Some people would be super into it, which we
Yep.
have. But we also like we can make them as undead as you want. We can make them in pristine condition
I
and
get it, but
completely new.
I
Or we can do
struggled for about a half an hour going back and
yeah,
forth.
yeah, yeah.
So
It's bringing that up. So Gavin, who is a new character in issue 2, um, we love Gavin so much. Gavin is like, I don't know. I don't want to say he's our mascot, but he's a favorite amongst the entire team. And Gavin, we weren't sure what kind of creature Gavin was going to be, or what his name was going to be. Um, and then I'm trying to think if it's appropriate to give her name or not. I don't think she'd give a shit. But so Alex Schlitz, who just is doing this big book for Vault, her cat Gavin had passed away in the middle of me writing this issue.
mhm.
And so we wanted to do a tribute to Gavin in a way that we thought was kind to his memory. That Gavin is a guide. Gavin shows you where to go. He is when you're lost, Gavin is there. When you're upset, Gavin's there to make you feel better. Everybody loves Gavin. Gavin loves everybody. And I will say right now, spoilers for the entire future of all of My Neighbor Necromancer, that nothing bad will ever happen to Gavin.
Well, see,
It's like
that
Lion King.
that is
Spoiler
not only
alert.
cool, but it reminds me of why Lion Cat is still around in Saga.
Yep. It's
Yeah.
line cat.
Remember, he got shot off into space in like the third or fourth arc. And
Yeah.
like when Fiona got to it,
She said
she
no.
called Brian and she's like, nope, nope, I will quit right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I same. If I mean in a perfect world, there will be bidding wars for My Neighbor Necromancer. And in any contract I ever sign with it, to put it in anyone else's creative hands will have an entire clause or
On
paragraph or
Gavin.
section that describes that nothing bad can happen to Gavin ever.
It's the Gavin clause.
The Gavin clause. Yeah, yeah.
Yep,
like
yep. Sure, you can make it a cartoon on Netflix. I will take your money, but Gavin
Must be protected.
is in it
Yep.
and nothing happens.
That's right.
Nothing bad happens to Gavin.
Right.
Did we just freeze? Or is it just me that froze?
It was
This is
just you
you.
that froze. I think we might be really delayed now, though, maybe.
Good question.
Can you hear us,
All
Ted?
right, you're all back.
All right,
Okay.
cool.
I can hear you now.
Great.
You all froze, and I'm like,
So currently you're at 122 backers. You got 25 days to go. What are your plans to get this out to everybody?
Um, to try and get the rest of the funding.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
on 22 panels, that's all it takes, right?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
it should
I'm
be.
doing it right now. Yeah, I've done a bunch of other podcasts. I've got other podcasts lined up. This is the best one, obviously.
Why, thank you.
Yep. We're going to Luke had just brought this up a while ago, and we're still planning to do it. We're gonna put out a free preview of issue 1. The first, I forget how many pages, first maybe six pages or so, maybe 7 pages.
Okay.
Right before Cyrano meets Rackus. So we're gonna put out a free preview just to get everybody on board so that they can read issue 1, sort of get enticed by it. I mean, the people who already backed and have issue 1, I believe most of them have already backed issue 2, which is phenomenal. But we're trying to reach new people, and so I think
Clearly.
giving out a free taste of issue 1 is exactly what we need to
Yep.
show people what we're working with, and I hope I want to believe that that'll get everybody on board for it.
Well, I'm going to tell you, having talked with you in the Heavy Metal 22 Panels book club, I kind of felt like the writing would be good, just the way your mind works.
All right,
And
thank
then
you.
seeing the artwork for the ad for Necromancer 2,
Yeah.
My Neighbor Necromancer 2, I was like, oh, that looks really good. And then seeing the first issue, I'm like, holy shit, these guys blew this out of the water. Like, my expectations were definitely exceeded.
Thank you. Oh, good. I'm gonna let Jason know that, like that.
Oh, seriously.
People who know me and who know my writing, they have high expectations, but that Jason exceeds those expectations when they're combined.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Thank you. Yeah, we have issue 1 available in the issue 2 Kickstarter, because we don't want to exclude anybody who hasn't jumped on board yet. So we obviously have issue 1 available in a lot of the reward tiers. We've got the t-shirts from last issue are back. They're not featured in any of the rewards, but they're definitely in the add-on store. We have new t-shirts, the Gavin Skull, this Gavin Sprouts t-shirt, which I'm also in love with. We have a hanging map. We made this jute hanging tapestry map of a section from issue 2. I think the map travel page is on the Kickstarter story page. And we have a colorless panelless version of that. That's just the map.
Mm-hmm.
And in every issue going forward, Jesse will travel somewhere new, and you'll be able to see that path, and you'll get to reveal more and more of the map, more of the landscape.
That's awesome.
We have this cool place called the Body Farm coming up. You're going to be able to see the different rivers, the burial grounds, places like that. And so every issue will have a new section of the map that will be available in each successive Kickstarter. And so we're excited to do that. Jason was when we first thought of this idea, we were both super on board with it. And then the more it happened, the more Jason was like, this might have been a terrible idea because it's very difficult to do to make everything line up. We figured it out and it works perfectly. But yeah, it ended up being a huge undertaking that I don't think we were quite ready for.
Sure. Hey, all good things.
All good
If it was
things.
easy, everyone would do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Laura Helsby, who I think, at least in this moment, is most known for their incredible basketball art. They're very into WNBA and women's basketball. They did a print for issue 1, which was great, but sort of had my influence on it. I asked them to draw a specific picture, and they did, and they crushed it. It looks phenomenal. But this time I was like, I want you to do you. I want you to do something that really excites you. I want you to do what you think is going to be fun. I want you to enjoy drawing this. And then they came up with this awesome basketball scene of Jessie in her sassy posture watching Rakkus absolutely dunk on Cyrano, which looks super cool. And I want to have them back for every issue, I think.
Yeah, it looks pretty sweet.
That's great
yeah.
stuff.
On the Kickstarter page.
Yeah. Ryan Barr did the variant cover for this one. This was another one that Ryan Barr has what I feel like is a very unique style of art, and I didn't want to make him draw something that was out of bounds with that. And I think the only person who knows what fits his style best is him. And so I sort of gave some information about issue 2. I gave some information about Morta, the gardener, who is another new character, as well as Backstrom, who is another new character. Just gave information about them and their relationship to everybody. And he came up with this fun gardening scene. So I couldn't be more happy about that. Yeah, everything about this issue came together so perfectly, and I'm so excited for it.
Nice.
Well, I wish you the best and really hope this gets funded because I want to see it.
Thanks, man. I also hope it gets funded.
I will start pulling out the math posts if necessary. I don't know how many of you actually follow the crazy stuff I will get into on Blue Sky, but where I am not out there often enough because I get bored of social media.
Yeah. Every time I'm over at Blue Sky, I think I should be over here more. I like what's going on here.
No, I like
I
it
just
better
never go
than
back.
anywhere else, but I get bored with social media, period.
Yeah.
Where I would go through phases.
Yeah.
But when I have a Kickstarter that I want to see that hasn't crossed its finish line with like a week to go, I
Yeah.
start sending out daily math lessons.
Oh, all right.
Like my neighbor necromancer needs $700. I have 350 followers.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
$2 a piece, whether you want it or not.
All you gotta do.
That's
all you gotta
funny.
do.
I like it.
Yeah, I do math on a daily basis for how many dollars we need to pull in on average per day. And I think right now we need roughly $340 per day, which seems like a low amount until you get into the middle of the campaign and you're pulling teeth for dollars.
Yep.
Well, I mean, early and late are where most of the money comes.
Yep.
It's true.
But yeah, no, I mean, $340 a day on one side is a low amount. On another side, right now I'm back at the lowest physical tier. I might up it, and I think I'm at $22, which means you'd need 17 of me a day.
Yeah.
Now there are higher tiers, and I got distracted by a couple of things, all promoting your comic. So if you guys went over them before, I'm going to apologize for going through them again.
Please.
But tiers available include, let me hit the reward button. we have, why is it loading so slowly? You've got your variant cover, your Lauren Hillsby print, Gavin Sprout's tea.
The Gavin
Map
Sprouts tea
Mullen.
comes in 3 different colors as well.
Yep.
I believe the last time we only did the maroon one. The Gavin Sprouts tea comes in maroon, in navy blue, and black.
Yep.
I think I got 2 of those colors.
The Undead Familiar Commission, I heard mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
To talk actual like dollar amounts. If you just want to be able to read them both, and why is it? I'm really frustrated at the speed everything is loading. If you just want to be able to read both books, digital catch-up is, well, it's $8 for number 2. Do you have a package for the?
Yep, there should be a digital catch-up package.
Okay. Maybe I'm not seeing it because I
believe
already
it's,
have
I believe it's
selected.
$15 if I remember correctly.
Oh, the Soul Stealer.
The Soul Stealer, yes. Yeah. The fact that I didn't call it a digital catch-up package and I decided to call it something fun instead.
Only makes it difficult if you've already. See, I've already subscribed, so
Yeah.
it's not giving me the standard list. I have to like look through more. Grave Robber will get you both issues physically.
You'll get physical and digital copies of issues 1 and 2 with the
Two.
Grave Robber tier.
All right. Shapeshifter will add in.
The
That is his 3. Oh, credit in the digital comic.
Doesn't Shapeshifter give you the alternative cover?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the
Shapeshifter,
Ryan Barr.
You do get the credit in the digital comic. But yeah, that one will get you the Ryan Barr variant cover.
Right. That's $21. For $30, you get the 6x9 3-print set along with issue 2. Gavin Sprout's tea is at the $50 level, and that actually comes also with the print set and the physical copy of issue 2. There is a retailer tier. Any retailers that may be interested can get 9 copies signed of issue 2 and 1 of the variant cover for $60.
Shout out to Kamikaze in San Diego. I believe they've backed for that one. They're great people, love them.
Yeah. And then the Mapamori tier is at $65. Dead Reckoning tier is at $115.
The Dead Reckoning tier gets you every physical reward mentioned up to that point, except for the retailer tier.
Yeah, it's the Map of Mori, it's the Gavin Sprouts t-shirt, it's the My Neighbor Necromancer variant copy and the 3-print set, and then digital copies of both 1 and 2. Speak with the Dead is your.
That one should be a script review.
You're giving a script review.
Yeah.
You skipped Mapamori.
No, he did
He
Mapamori.
did Mapamori and the Dead
Yeah.
Reckoning. Sorry,
Yeah. Art portfolio review is
I tuned out for a second.
Jason Piperberger. Review up to 10 of your comics pages illustrations and give you so you can get an hour talk with Dillon or Jason where they have looked at your stuff for $125.
If you are a budding artist or an up and coming artist, you want Jason looking at your stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, he's incredible.
And then we've got 2 levels of necrofamiliar commissions, one for 1 animal and 1 for 2. You get your second animal for only $100 extra at $250. So yeah.
Yeah, we actually had people.
Nice tiers.
Yeah, we ran out of we made the availability of the familiar commissions very low to start with. And then I started getting messages from people who were angry that they could not get them. And so we decided to increase them. I talked to Jason. He was like, "Yep, I'll make it work." And so we upped the availability. So if you want it, jump on it. I have no idea how long they're going to be there.
It looks like there's at least 6 left.
Yep. The Necromancer familiar ones, again, you send us a picture of your pet or multiple pets. And Jason will draw them in any level of undead state, either pristine or in advanced decay, whichever you want. And he will also give them a necromancy accessory. Maybe it's a spell book, or maybe it's a skeletal arm or a staff, something like that.
You'll also get a 6x9 print of the commission and a high resolution digital image.
Yeah. Yep.
So, yeah.
Nice.
So you've got some pretty cool tiers. We'll get you there. You're gonna make it. This is too good for it not to make it. And you've got 3 of us to go nuts on social media if we feel like we're not gonna get our book.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm banking on you guys to revolt and burn down the house if it looks like it's not going to make it.
I am not active enough on social. I should be at least a little bit more active than I am. I'm not even good at always plugging the episode that we have up. But where I get ridiculous is when I start getting afraid that a book that I want to read isn't going to get made.
Yeah. I'll speak for all the people that you've done that for in the past. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
So thank you.
So anything else you want to toss in before we wrap up for the day?
When's this gonna air, do you think?
Tyler could get it up as early as tomorrow.
Okay. Oh, great. Then I'll say
he generally turns it around really fast.
Yeah. I'll say then that Jason and I are going to be at Baltimore Comic-Con on the weekend of September 22nd. We're both going to be there. I'll have some of the old rewards from the first Kickstarter that are no longer available on the Kickstarter. We'll have some of the prints, some stickers. We'll also have physical copies of issue 1 if you're going to make it. If you're going to be there, that would be great. Please come by and say hi. We'd love to see you.
All righty.
Awesome.
And that's coming up on the weekend of the 22nd.
Yeah.
So right around the corner.
In the meantime, please visit necrocomic.com. That'll bring you
I
to
love
our
it when Kickstarter
page.
people make it even easier to find their Kickstarters.
I know. I needed a vanity URL to make it easy to remember. Yeah, I was happy that we got that one.
So yeah, it's been great. Matt, you're here, so you came up with the catchphrase. You get to take us out.
And we will continue after the next page.
This is the other problem with having 2 computers is
Figure out how to stop the recording.
I gotta remember where to go to and this will all be on the recording. We won't edit it.
Oh, good.
That's not how we roll around here.
So say anything you want to say.
All right. For 22 panels, I get to say it again since we took so long. See you after the next page.
Hey guys, this is Tyler from 22 Panels. I'm here to tell you all about our Patreon. If you enjoy this show, please consider donating to our Patreon to keep this show going. We have many different tiers, all different levels to help you decide what's right for you. Okay, so get on out there to patreon.com/22panelspodcast.